Inside the stories that affect you. This is Inside Keloland.
Good evening, I'm Tom Hansen. In tonight's Inside Keloland, we're taking a look back at some of your favorite Eye on Keloland stories of 2020, including a look inside tiny homes in South Dakota and a story about a young man who is making a big difference with the help of donations. But 2020 will be remembered as the year of the pandemic. The coronavirus led our newscast nearly every night. It was also the topic of two of our most popular Eye on Keloland stories. Our first story takes us back to the beginning of November when Angela Kennecke introduced us to two frontline workers.
Dr. Anthony Herricks is coming off of a long week caring for the sickest of patients in the intensive care unit at Avera McKinnon Hospital.
It is very morally distressing. The physical work is tough. Dr. Tianco and I have been in the ICU together this week. Normally we have one intensivist up there. We've had two now for several months.
Not only that, but in recent weeks, space has become exceedingly tight at the hospital to care for those patients.
We're never ever really that full, but now we're full. We have beds that we have people with dual occupancy, which normally we have single person rooms. We have looking for patients that we can move out so we can move new ones in. We have waiting lists for people to come into the ICU. So when a bed is open, it's almost immediately filled.
Dr. Herrick specializes in lung disease, and as director of critical care for the hospital, he says the numbers of staffed hospital bed capacity released by the South Dakota Department of Health don't paint a true picture of what is really happening in hospitals across the state.
You can look at the numbers all you want and think they look great, but I can tell you that if you were to walk through the hospital and see how many open beds we have, see how many discharges we have every day and how many admissions we have, this is a revolving door. It doesn't stop. The bed is empty and then it gets filled.
Dr. Herricks is trained to deal with very sick and dying patients. However, he and his colleagues have never experienced a pandemic.
When you come into the hospital every day, you have to put on your PAPR, you have to put on your mask, you have to put on your face shield. You have to walk in and see these people that are, in some respect, actively dying in front of you, especially in an intensive care unit. That not only weighs on you physically, but it weighs on you emotionally. And then you have to turn around and come back and do that every single day.
You see someone's essentially their worst day they've ever had is probably that day you're caring for them in the ICU, and you experience that every single day.
Sarah Metz graduated from nursing school at Augustana and has only been an ICU nurse for 18 months. No amount of training could have prepared her for COVID-19.
It definitely was not something I was expecting in the first year of my nursing career, to be dealing with a pandemic.
These intensive care doctors and nurses are getting help from other medical personnel throughout the hospital.
Whereas I used to come in and have 1 to 2 patients, now I have 2 to 3, and I have a nurse buddy that I'm also trying to give a crash course in the ICU to.
So we're in that line of fire right now, and so I really want to give a shout out to all my colleagues that keep up the good fight. If we hold each other up, that we can get through this together and hopefully be stronger on the other side.
Dr. Herrick says everyone deals with the stress and loss of human life differently. The unpredictability of COVID-19 hit Nurse Metz hard when one of her patients died.
I do a lot of bike riding and working out, and I had a patient who was also a cyclist, and I just thought, here he is, this healthy, fit guy going on bike rides and whatnot, and think about how I'm so lucky to still be able to do that, and he unfortunately is not.
But I can tell you I've seen ages of 20s and 30s and 80s and 90s. Some of them walk in, some of them walk out, some of them don't. But I think we all deal with it a little bit different. We may hide it. You may be the strongest person you could at work every day, but you may go home and cry.
These doctors and nurses also worry, despite taking all precautions, they could also catch it and infect their loved ones.
Did I wipe my stuff down? Did I touch something I shouldn't have? And why am I touching my face? Am I going to bring this home to my loved ones? And are they going to get sick? And I think that's very, very scary for everybody involved.
These frontline workers say there are very simple things everyone can do to stop community spread, keep more people out of the hospital, and more healthcare workers on the job.
This is something that's completely preventable, meaning that the way that you survive COVID-19 is, number one, you don't get it. So how don't you get it? You social distance, you wear a mask, you wash your hands.
Everyone's tired of COVID. The hospital staff is tired of COVID. People with COVID are tired of having COVID, but we just can't be lax about it. We can't just because we're tired of it.
This is a marathon. As we go through this race, that we're just going to have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting to try to make sure that we get through this.
With Eye on Keloland, I'm Angela Kennecke.
During the summer of 2020, Governor Kristi Noem invited businesses and workers to move to South Dakota, telling them the state would never be shut down or face mandates. In November, Keloland's Bridget Bennett caught up with some of the state's new residents who took her up on that offer.
Coming into this year with COVID, we really didn't know what to expect for the year. But with talking with other realtors and ourselves, we hear a lot that this has been the busiest year of their career.
Real estate agents say historically low interest rates are a big factor in the booming moving business this year. The other major factor,
I would say out of my personal probably last 10 deals, 4 of them have been out-of-state buyers.
I would definitely say that this year's been a lot more than our previous years. We've been seeing quite a few moving in from many states: California, Texas, Minnesota, surrounding areas.
I wanted to be further north and closer to my family.
Ryan and Shelby Shigley just moved to the Sioux Falls area from Southern California.
Can you go find your room?
Yeah.
They have like really good school systems around this area, and that's really important to us at this age. So
there were a lot of things that drew the Shigley family to the area.
We chose the area and looked for a job. I'm a nurse, so I can go just about anywhere.
As an ICU nurse, Ryan noticed big differences in how the state is handling the pandemic.
Everything's still open. We spent 10 months pretty much locked down, so it was kind of different to see that.
He says the move to South Dakota hasn't changed much about how his family is responding to the pandemic.
For the most part, living like we were in California just to keep the family safe.
Staying home
really.
mostly.
But it's a different story for many others moving to South Dakota right now.
We just moved here from New Jersey like 3 weeks ago, and I came here to get away from people that want to push masks on you.
Several people who just moved to the area spoke out about Sioux Falls' mask mandate during last week's city council meeting.
I moved to this lovely city 9 weeks ago. I jokingly tell people I moved to South Dakota because I miss living in the United States. I came here from Nashville, Tennessee, which is now the People's Democratic Republic of Nashville.
And some of these people have never even been here. I mean, people from Colorado have, but there's some people that have never been in our state that just like what they're seeing and what they're hearing and ready to make a change.
John Melhoff is a real estate broker for all of South Dakota. He and his agents are hearing a similar theme from many new people coming to South Dakota.
A lot of it, too, is we love your governor. I mean, I've heard that numerous times.
Melhoff also works as an agent in the Black Hills market.
I think some of these people now can say, well, if I don't have to go to an office, I would rather be somewhere that I have a little more room.
He's not only seeing a lot of people relocating to South Dakota, but also an increase in people choosing to buy a second home in the States.
In like the lead Terry Peak area, prices have gone up nearly 30% on some cabins in that area, just because of demand. There's not a lot out there right now.
They're finding that they're getting a lot more for their money out here, so they may sell a smaller house out there and get a much bigger house for the same price out here in the Sioux Empire.
The increase in out-of-state home buyers is also helping to drive up home prices in an already tight housing market.
With low interest rates and low inventory, there's already a high demand for home buying, so they're just adding to it, which definitely puts us in more multiple offer situations, and unfortunately clients missing out on a home or two by being outbid.
It was a struggle. We had to jump on what was available pretty quickly.
Jumping on an opportunity to create a new home in South Dakota, even during a pandemic.
It added some complications, I guess, but it wasn't really a driving force. It's everywhere.
That was Keloland's Bridget Bennett reporting. Now it's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to look back on the top Eye on Kelolands of 2020. Up next, It's a Keloland News investigation. It's now been more than a year since a young woman in Mitchell died on the job. Her family never realized the dangerous environment the 20-year-old Molly Schlodweiler was working in until it was too late. In this Keloland News investigation, Angela Kennecke looked into what went wrong at Custom Genetic Solutions.
20-year-old Molly Schlodweiler was no girly girl.
She was a lot of everything. She be her third year in Mitchell Tech. She had gotten her motorcycle license. She had her CDL truck driving license.
We always told her that was a good line to say your first job was collecting bull semen.
Molly's parents, Dave and Dixie Schlodweiler, now question whether they should have suspected a problem with her job at Custom Genetic Solutions sooner.
She was tired a lot. And she would make the comment, the girls in the office would make a comment that they couldn't grow plants. The plants died. And so we probably should have picked up on that.
The Schlodweilers now believe that may have been caused by liquid nitrogen evaporating in the air and reducing the oxygen. Custom Genetic Solutions employees filled containers and cryogenic freezers with liquid nitrogen. That's what Molly was doing on the night of November 20th when she died.
We would have never allowed her to work where there was danger. And we have to live with that now because we think maybe we should have tried and gone and looked. We knew she was filling tanks and we told her to be careful. Oh, yeah.
The Davidson County Sheriff's Office got a call in the early morning hours of November 21st to Custom Genetic Solutions. According to the sheriff's report, a co-worker alerted others that Molly was dead and tried to go into the building to shut off the valves to the liquid nitrogen tanks. But he collapsed and had to be pulled out. He began seizing, but recovered. By the time deputies arrived, the doors to the building were open, and there was frost on the outside of the building along the foundation, as well as frost on all the equipment.
Molly actually froze solid.
In the business's surveillance video, Molly can be seen filling the nitrogen tanks. At 7:15 p.m., Molly checks on nitrogen tank number 5. That is the last time she is seen in the video, and according to officials on the scene, the incident occurred at that time.
Oh, it was the worst day ever. And there's nothing you can do about it as a parent.
Mitch and Molly Schlodweiler, who are just 17 months apart, were also roommates.
She was a really good employee for them and a really good sister. Probably my best friend. Yeah.
This is our daughter. We couldn't have loved her more.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, fined Custom Genetic Solutions $122,602 for 2 willful and 3 serious violations. OSHA says the company failed to implement safety measures such as oxygen monitoring or ventilation to ensure that the rapidly expanding liquid nitrogen did not displace the oxygen in the room. In addition, the company failed to train employees on the hazards of working with nitrogen gas and on how to detect the accumulation and release of the gas.
The ventilation, them not having any ventilation, and just why she was there by herself is, I just don't see an excuse for it. I don't see how you can justify that.
OSHA has ordered the company to install a fixed oxygen monitoring system and industrial ventilation exhaust system and train employees on how to use it safely and develop an escape route in the event of a leak or spill.
I'm Angela Kennecke from Kello TV.
Keloland Investigates repeatedly contacted Custom Genetic Solutions by phone and email, and even knocked on the door. But we were told at the time no one there could answer our questions.
They always have no comment about the whole situation. It's kind of just speaks volumes about them.
The family says the company has offered to set up a scholarship in Molly's name, but that gesture falls short.
It's a great idea, a great gesture, but I think that they need to probably take the money and maybe invest in a venting system. I think I'd rather have the money go there than a scholarship.
Mom and Dad.
Now, Molly's family holds on to the memories, like sweet little notes she left for her mom over the years.
Most kids don't get the amazing parents that I have. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. And always remember, I love you, Molly K.
What do you think she would want for you now?
I don't know. Just she's very unselfish. She would probably not. she wouldn't be for all these cameras and stuff for us talking about her.
But you are talking. Why is it important that you talk?
Because they need to fix their problems. They need to, because this happens to somebody else, it'll be just all over again for somebody else.
Custom Genetic Solutions attorney provided Keloland News with a statement which says it provides a safe workplace for all of its employees. CGS says OSHA's findings are, quote, flawed and unfortunately just plain inaccurate in several respects. However, the company would not elaborate on what was inaccurate. The company is contesting OSHA's findings, and the matter is now going before an administrative law judge.
Now, Molly's Church in Mitchell honored her life through Molly's Ministry, which put together 250 activity kits for children in the community. Well, up next, we are headed to southeast corner of South Dakota, where you can find custom homes with a tiny twist. Stay with us. This next story takes us back to July of 2020, when many people were spending their free time camping and boating. In this Eye on Keloland, Sarah McDonald showed us how tiny homes were becoming a big attraction in Yankton.
Chris Ibis and her husband moved into this home at the Executive Park Model Estates at the beginning of May. As someone who visits Yankton quite a bit, this was the perfect option for a second home.
My husband and I have been camping down here for years, and we have a boat in the marina. And when we saw this development popping up last summer, we got really interested because we were very tired of hauling the camper.
The same can be said for Sarah Snuggerud and her family. They live in Sioux Falls but come down to their tiny home as often as they can.
I remember last fall driving by here and going, who in the world would want to live there? And so we decided to look, and we discovered that once you go inside, they are amazing. The spaces was perfect for our family.
These tiny homes, or park models, are located just across from Lewis and Clark Marina, giving people another option for vacationing or a second home, says owner Curtis Oliver.
It's kind of just another alternative, you know, to camping. Trying to take the stress, just make it convenient. Everybody's so limited on time anymore. You know, here you can get done on work on Friday night, jump in the vehicle, you could be here by 6, 7 o'clock. Everything's here, done, you can go straight to the lake.
Oliver says these are custom homes, just smaller.
We have 3 different designs as far as floor space and size, and then we took each one of them and made a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom out of them. We have custom cabinets, granite countertops, 30-year warranty flooring, central air and heat. It will be a gated community, and it is a 45 to purchase one. You have to be 45 years of age. Families are more than welcome. They can come and stay.
Ibis says finding the right furniture for her home and items to use for storage help her make the most of the space.
We have our main living and kitchen area right here, and then we have a master bed with a washer and dryer and a full bathroom, which is a huge upgrade from those camper bathrooms. And then we have what we call our office, because it's a real flexible room for us. My husband will sometimes still work from the lake, or he wants a little place to play guitar, or I want to read.
And in some cases, Oliver says these homes can offer a more efficient lifestyle, leaving more time to enjoy the amenities of your home and the lake.
If you like lake life, this takes all the hassle out of it.
And these homeowners agree. They may have downsized their way of living, but not their quality of life.
We love it here. And we've met some wonderful people. We have people beside us are from Colorado and Nebraska, and some people from Sioux Falls, and we're anxious for it to fill up.
This is just the best of all lake living, is just to be here, go to the boat, come home, grill a steak, and it's just an amazing place to be.
With Eye on Keloland, I'm Sarah McDonald.
Another one of our most popular Eye on Keloland stories involves a little boy with a big heart. His story is coming up next. You may know the name Weston Frank. The local country music singer performs all over South Dakota. But as Don Jorgensen showed us in this Eye on Keloland, it's Frank's 6-year-old son who is really making noise.
6-year-old Jed Frank of Mount Vernon loves bikes and had been saving money to buy a new dirt bike. But recently he's been pedaling for another purpose.
We raised another $1,000.
Jed had been saving his allowance in a piggy bank, and when he took the money out, he decided to donate $40 of it to charity to help feed the hungry.
I was outside working in the garage. I'd come in and my wife Jill had told me about it, and I just kind of thought to myself, whoa, $40 out of $250, that's a pretty good chunk of change.
Weston decided to match the $40 himself and then did something that changed everything.
I just kind of thought, wow, that's huge. I don't know where that came from. I don't spend a lot of time reminding my kid to do that, so I thought we'd post it on Facebook and say, hey, Jed's giving this much money. Does anybody want to match it?
At first they thought they might get a couple $100. Boy, were they wrong. Letter after letter came in the mail.
Where are you getting mail from?
I think the furthest we've seen so far is down by Kansas City, Wisconsin, Colorado, all kinds of places.
To 6-year-old Jed, it just made sense to donate some of the money to charity, especially this time of year.
I just decided, people that need help, they would really want some help from people that can help them. Because I thought people that are in need, they need food, and they would like to celebrate holidays.
They even made a couple of videos about their fundraising efforts and posted them on Facebook. Of course, that fueled the fundraising effort even more.
I'm asking for your help to please share this again. We can keep raising money for people in need.
For the most part, people are actually matching the $40 check. We've seen a few that are little, and that's okay. That's great. Big surprise, we get checks that are $100, $200, $300 frequently too. I mean, it's crazy. We didn't expect that.
So far, they have raised well over $9,000.
Originally, we didn't expect this much money, so we feel like we need to find multiple places to help out. I think there's an opportunity here to help with food, maybe help with some gifts, help with several different things. I think we can find plenty of opportunities to make sure lots of people are taken care of.
Jed still plans to buy his dirt bike, but his message is this. Sometimes it's not about how much money you save, but rather how much you spend on others. That's what pays off.
I can't believe how many families are going to be able to help.
With Eye on Keloland, I'm Don Jorgensen.
And since this story aired, they reached more than $11,000, and they found creative ways to give back over the holidays. Thanks for joining us.